Did you enjoy the encounter? I have no doubt you gave them a good talking to. The rats usually keep a lid on their nastier notions, but with the Stone Lord business distracting me, some are starting to test the leash. All the more reason to be rid of the cult quickly, so I can remind my crews it's not a leash round their necks if they cross me. It's a noose. No begging? Not even a snotty little please? It's almost like you don't know who you're talking to. The order's been given. It's done. So I hope you know another tune, because I am getting bored of this one. Knowing what I know usually comes at a cost. But let's say we'll put it on your tab. Simple enough. After Jaheira warned me and then disappeared, I went nosing into the cult for myself. I could bore you with the details. How I found evidence of Gortash's projects, traced him to Orin the Red, and made a safe bet there was some dried-out old necromancer to round out the three. Because it's always the dead, bloody three. Has been half-gods who can't help but make their irrelevance everyone else's problem. Oh. You've got some juicy little tidbit I haven't heard yet. Right. Well, war to be fought. Do you need anything else? Keep the Harper out of trouble. Beyond that, be welcome. Knowing what I know usually comes at a cost. But let's say... Which part? The Stone Lords hollowed this place out. Half my crews are fled or in hiding. Orin's faceless try to pierce my ranks every day, while Gortash's toy soldiers control the streets. When the Absolute's army arrives to wage war on the city, our best hope is to make sure they have no leaders in here willing to open the gates for them. We've crossed paths over the years. Two hands trying to steer the city, just not always in the same direction. Ugh, can't stand Harpers as a rule, but Jaheira's the exception. She's only really half a Harper at most.
You mean that as a compliment? I am sure.
The same way I'm not just the lowly thief, vagabond, and murderer the Watch and peers would paint me as. I happen to be a fine singer, too. We don't. The Zentarim work for me. Time was I'd charge the bastards double if I let them into my hall at all, but times change. The Guild is many things, but it's not an army. If the Absolute keeps pushing in on our territory, then I need a little weight to push back. Thieves, frauds, and miscreants. If it's just the Watch warrants you're reading. The Guild isn't any one thing. We're everything. All the parts of the city the Watch don't want seen, so they push us to the far side of their law. But it's not the Watch that keeps the peace, or gives justice to any Baldurian who asks, whether they can pay for it or not. It's us. If we take a little tribute in return, or tie strings of service to those we help, well, what of it? So long as we're working as one, it all runs quick, quiet, and clean. Clean water, filthy riches, and everything in between. We're citizens of the city. No more, no less. Right now, I'll settle for taking our city back. Keep me from having to kill the Harper. Which means keeping out of the Guild's way, all right? Wonderful. Keep the Harper out of... Beyond that, be welcome. Knowing what I know usually comes at a cost. Thieves, fraud, the Guild isn't any... But it's not the Watch. If we take a little tribute in return, or tie strings of... If you'd prefer to trust in the Watch, the Council, the Parliament of Peers, by all means. They're the pretty face slapped over the city. But the Guild is the blood, the bone, the gristle, the ugly bits that actually make Baldur's Gate move. We'll be the ones still holding the gate when all those others have fled. Keep me from having to kill the Harper.